Well, welcome to Lincoln, first of all. How would you describe these last couple of weeks?
You know, they've been a little bit chaotic, but also at the same time, just really exciting. And I don't know, just feeling a lot of pride and so thankful. And just, I think the most special part of it all is listening to John Cook talk about the old days and his belief in me. It just has given me a lot of confidence that this is going to be really special.
How nice is that? How much of a luxury is it to have Coach Cook wants to stick around, help you out, and just the way that he has, I guess, helped navigate throughout this whole process?
I mean, it means everything. You know, when you follow a legend, that's pretty intimidating. And a lot of people have asked me, "Are you sure you want to do that? And is that what's best for you?" And again, having somebody in your corner and somebody you trust and somebody that's going to be there, it makes it feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, he's told a lot of stories about you, obviously, about when he knew you'd be a good coach. But when did you decide that you wanted to get into coaching?
It really wasn't until my senior year when I switched positions and really started thinking about the game in a different way. And I felt like I was going to regret it if I didn't try it. And of course, I think you should not just try coaching. You can't really do that. It's in your blood or it's not, or it's something you're passionate about. So once I got that first job, I knew I was in it for the long haul.
What'd you love about it?
I think the best part about coaching is the connection with the players and being able to watch them grow. And they keep you so young, and it's fun. And the fact it doesn't feel like a job. There's so many days you walk into work and say, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this. And that's what makes coaching just such a gift. And then the fact you can raise your own family and they can be around and watch you coach. There's just so many benefits to it that no other job in the world can provide.
Okay, so you got to tell us your side of the story of the position change and the conversation in his office that day.
Well, I don't think I actually said those words that he keeps saying, those two words, but I think he believes I did because he felt that, because I was not happy, as you can imagine. And what's crazy is I knew it was coming. I knew after we lost the national championship game in 2005 that I was not going to set ever again. But to hear that, it was tough. So that's true. I was very upset. I didn't disappear for weeks. I was still in Lincoln, but I needed a break and just really decided that I was going to do this and give it my all. And I understood that's what needed to happen for the team to be great. I will take credit, though. On top of the letter, I said, I want a black jersey. And so I brought the black jerseys back. I was the first one, so I'll take credit for that.
Oh, that's amazing. We heard him say you had a turnaround jump shot. I talked to Coach Ravel. She said she believes you would have been an All-American pitcher. So why was it volleyball for you going into college?
Because of Nebraska Volleyball and watching these games when you're 9, 10 years old, and that's what you aspire to do, and you want to be like those players and be a part of something that can make a difference in other people's lives. And on top of that, volleyball is the ultimate team sport, and it's full of joy. It's fun. You really get to see personalities in a game more than just a couple times. You get to see it throughout the entire match, almost on every point, and I think that's why it's such a polarizing sport, especially for women. And so it was mainly because of Nebraska Volleyball, but I love all the sports. Big proponent of athletes playing as many as they can or want to, but volleyball was always my real love.
Playing all the sports and being so competitive, how much did that shape you into the player and then coach that you became?
I think every sport teaches you a little bit something different, and on top of just the sport, it's the different type of teammates you're around growing up. So in softball, there's a lot of different roles, and they're much different than the roles on a volleyball team. Same with basketball. So just being around different people, it really helps shape your leadership and your communication, and you have to learn how to mold and change and be great for so many different people. So I don't think it's really the sport, it's more the teammates and the roles that really teach you a lot.
Absolutely. So you get into coaching and you decide to, when you go to be a head coach, and Coach Cook talked about going away and then, coming back eventually. But when you decided, when you build your own program and started implementing what you wanted to do at Louisville, what were some of the I guess, principles and things that you took away from Coach Cook that helped you build your program at Louisville?
Number one, attention to detail was super important, and that's not like is this corner clean? Of course, that's important, but the attention to detail in training and just the day-to-day things that we're doing in the gym. So that was always very, very important. I also felt like keeping the team and recruiting in the forefront and understanding that everything else will work out when it's supposed to, or change when it's supposed to, but making sure those two things come number one. And always focusing on that really helped me navigate some times that felt a little bit overwhelming. But there's so many things you take from John and the program that you can't really verbalize or say this is my list of what he helped me do. It's just being around this program and understanding what it takes to win at a high level, and then being able to communicate that is most important.
So then what were some of the things you learned outside of Nebraska that you feel like will help you now as you take over as a head coach here?
I've learned a ton, and Nebraska is an amazing place. And not that I forgot, but I think maybe forgot a little bit just how big volleyball is here. And that's been really amazing to come back and feel that immediately. It's not even close to season. But I do know there are other places that can offer great experiences. And so what can I take from those experiences to make Nebraska a little bit more unique than it already is? I also think the leadership that I've experienced has been really important. And just knowing I worked for Ann Cordes, who, is a really fiery competitor. I worked for Rob Patrick at Tennessee, who was much different and more authoritarian. And then, of course, I worked for John, who is kind of a mixture of both. And so I really got to see a lot of different styles of leadership and take the goods and the bads and use them to create my own style.
Coach told the story about when, after he told the team that they met individually and then came back and said they want to help you and they want to help you transition into this. What did that mean to you that the players in this locker room wanted to help you out?
I thought that was amazing. I don't know these players very well. I recruited them, some of them. I might have had one or two conversations with some of them, but nothing more than very surface level. And for them to lose someone like John and immediately be able to turn their focus into, what's next and what can we do to support Dani, it was huge to hear that. And just another sign that this was a great move at the right time.
What's next for you now that I'm sure it's been a whirlwind, you're getting introduced, all the things, but how do you approach what you need to get done to take over this program?
Number one, like I said, is the team and recruiting. So, getting to know these players on a deeper level, getting to know the recruits. Nebraska's been recruiting at the highest level in the country for the past few years. So how do I keep that going and make sure that standard that's been set continues? And then figuring out the staff and how do we work together. What are our strengths and weaknesses and how do those mesh, and what changes do we need to make, and what do we need to keep the same?
Obviously, Troy Dannon has a utmost belief and confidence in you. He's blown away by you, Coach Cook, too. But what makes you believe that you're ready for this, to take over Nebraska as the head coach of Nebraska Volleyball?
I think a lot of it is what we've done in the past at Louisville and how we were able to build that program. And then now knowing what I did there and having some of the resources and the tools here, it just makes me feel like anything is possible. And the core values are going to be the same. It's just going to be with a little extra of everything else, which it's hard. It's hard, though. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I'm pretty confident, but I'm already nervous for that first match, that's for sure.
Just being that you wore the uniform, you played here, how much difference, how much more pride, I guess, you take and maybe the understanding of what it takes to win in this uniform?
Yeah, just being able to tell our team I've walked in these shoes and in the biggest pressure situations, and I failed a lot, and there were a lot of moments that I didn't know if I'd come out, but then there were also the highest highs, and being able to look back and have perspective on that and share that with our team I think makes a big difference in how we communicate. And I think understanding too that as big as Nebraska Volleyball is, the biggest volleyball brand in the world, it's still a game, and we need to approach it with that, with love and fun and joy, and of course the competitive spirit it takes to win.
How about the reception that you've gotten from Husker Nation at the men's basketball game, on social media? Just a lot of people excited you're coming home.
Pretty unbelievable. I feel the same way. So it's really reassuring to know that Husker Nation is excited for me to be back, and we're not in a state of mourning for, the next 5 months. That, of course, it's more of a celebration and of what John's done, and then a celebration of what's to come next.
Last thing I got for you, a lot of times when head coaches take over a program, you're having to rebuild or figure things out on your own. The fact that Coach Cook is handing things over the way that he is, and the state of this volleyball program, I mean, what does that say about him and just Nebraska volleyball, that it's in the state that it is that you're taking over?
Yeah, it says so much about him. And I think one thing that's made me the coach I am today is coaching with knowing who I am, and being confident. And for him to walk away when he has everything he needs to win a national championship says a lot about him, and that he's confident in what he's done and satisfied and not constantly looking for something more. So it's pretty amazing that he was able to walk away and happily and proudly, is a better term, give this up to somebody that he really loves and trusts.